Awkward silence.
Good morning.
Morning, Brett.
All right. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning,
Uh,
morning, morning.
Not a manic Monday, but it sounded appropriate for Monday. Um, Apparently it's a holiday. I don't know that it's a holiday. I don't think most people in real estate know it's a holiday, but apparently it's a holiday, Richard Bass.
Something called President's Day.
Yeah. So obviously, if you had a closing today, I don't think it'll fund because the banks are closed. But 99.9% of real estate just keeps going, right?
It's a good day to remind your clients to not buy furniture at the President's Day sales.
Mm-hmm. There you go. All right, moving on. Let's jump in. It'll be interesting to see if people actually work today. All right.
A lot of people answering the phone this morning.
Okay, good. I love that. Well, I wanted to start with something a little bit different this week. So this is home sold in Florida in the year. Hang on, I just lost my mouse. Hold on, there we go. In the year 2022. So you can see the bell curves, what I want you to see. So we kind of had a slow start to 2022. January and February were okay, and then popped in March. And ironically, in 2022, March was the largest month of home sales. And then it just slowly tapered down. That's important to understand when we look at interest rates here in just a second. If I go to 2023, we had what I would consider to be a little more typical of a year bell curve, where slow start in January, creeped up to February, peaked in March. March was the largest home sale month in 2023. And then it kind of held strong through June, and then it just kind of started falling down in a staircase perspective. If I put 24 on here, we same deal. It ramped up, but it kept going through March up to May, and May was the peak month in 2024. And then it held strong through August, and then we had our fourth quarter tapering down. In 2025, last year, we ramped up January, February, and then March, April, May stayed strong. And we stayed pretty doggone strong with the exception of November all year. So the question is, what's 2026 going to do? Now, we don't have home sales data yet for January because Florida doesn't publish it till the end of this week. But we will have January numbers next week. But my suspicion is January came in stronger than it did last year, but I will hold my predictions until I see it. But what kind of year should we expect this year? I certainly believe March is going to be a big month. And what you've got to realize is all the properties going under contract right now are a part of that data. Like all the activity you're feeling right now, the people walking into open houses, the showings on your listings, the offers coming in, the all the leading indicator data is going to show that March results is if it's going to be good or not. So I guess just a open-ended question. How are you feeling about all the data points, your showings, your activity, your properties going under contract, people out there looking and ready to buy right now? What's it feeling like in the marketplace? I'm not on mute, am I?
Well,
People are buying. People are going out. They're looking. They're buying. These are not just the looky-loos that we're seeing. They are literally looking, offering, going under contract, buying, and there's more coming. I've got a few coming in March. So this is I'm excited.
Okay. Me too. I'm expecting it. I'm hoping somebody else give me your feedback.
So my Coachellas seem to be going out with more buyers than renters in the last 2 weeks, I'm noticing. So that's very positive. And they also seem to be getting more results for people that are ready to sell, because some of them are calling old expireds, and they seem to be getting people that are getting ready to go back into the market.
Okay.
That's just my little group.
Perfect. Anybody else?
Good morning. Yesterday, Nancy and I did a open house, and we had it was pretty busy. We had like a bunch of groups come through, but there were two young couples that were looking at that house because the house they bid in, somebody else got. So we had two young couples that missed out on getting a house, and they're out looking again.
I love it. Okay. So I mean, it's too early to tell, but I certainly believe March is going to be a big closing month. And what I'm hearing is y'all are noticing an increase in activity from what you've been feeling prior to. And you should ride that wave of momentum. If we get into these numbers, which we do every week, remember some of these are they're great numbers to track, but there's a lot of numbers before this, meaning the come list me calls, the showings, the open house attendees. Those are kind of the earlier numbers in the chain of events that get properties all the way to the finish line of closings. So in Broward County single family, there's 872 active status changes. So we're still holding pretty strong with listings coming on the market or going active, right? There's 21 in the coming soon, which seems to be greater than what we saw previous couple weeks. And 189 went under contract. I believe that is a strong number for this time of year. I obviously loved last week when we were over 200, but 189 seems to be a pretty strong number for single family Broward County. And there's 180 pending and 183 closed. And then, of course, we still have quite a few failed listings. Richard, I'm going to ask you jump in. Like, are these good, better than normal? What's your feeling on these numbers?
Well, this is reinforcing just what you're talking about. Your pending under contract, combine those numbers. The last 2 weeks are almost identical. We actually had combined four more, if my math is right, four more transactions last week than we did the week before. A little bit up from the very first week in February, or actually the last week in January. So we're seeing exactly what those graphs showed. And all of these pending numbers are 30 to 60 days out from closing. Now, I'm in total agreement with you with the previous charts. I think we're in for a much better March in closings.
I agree. All right, let's keep going. So condos, Broward County condos, 1,086, really strong active status change, 129 under contract, 122 pending. Same story you're talking about here, Richard. Like we're still kind of consistent with properties going under contract. 125 closed out. So it was a soft week, I guess is the way to say it, of closings on condos in Broward County. Still quite a bit failed listings coming off the market. If I jump down to Miami-Dade, we've got 806 active status change in the single family. 151 went under contract. That's the largest all year, I believe. And then 197 pending. That just simple math, that's 350. So that's probably the largest week they've had of properties going under contract in the single family category. And 197 is a very strong closing number for single family Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade condos, 1,088, really large listing number. 92 under contract, 153 on the pending. Big numbers, right? And then 186 closings. I'll stop. You were going to say something, Richard.
No, things are building week after week. You're in each one of these categories, and you'll see in Palm Beach as well. We've either stayed the same or actually increased from what last week is.
Let's hit Palm Beach. All right, Palm Beach single family 908 active status listings. 231 went under contract. Big jump from last week. 147 pending. So what's that? 378 compared to 367 the week before. Big jumps, right? 212 closed out in the last 7 days in single family. Man, it just, it's the graph, right? Like January, February, and we're moving into March, right? Palm Beach condos, 783 active status. Not too far off. I mean, we had big weeks before, so maybe it was a soft week for listings and condos, but there's 15 coming soons, which is a lot more than we had. 135 went under contract and 108 pending, which is consistent with the week before and greater than the weeks before that. So 168 closings in Palm Beach condos in the last 7 days. Go ahead, Richard.
So just a curiosity question goes through my mind. Palm Beach has fewer canceled listings than the other two counties. I'm just curious as to why. The other thought that I had, maybe someone on the call can shed some light on it. Canceled listings, are they happening early on in the listing, or are you seeing listings being canceled towards the end of a 6-month listing period? They're just tired, want to get out of it. Those of you that are prospecting for expireds and canceled, what are you seeing going on with that, with those numbers?
You have to hang out for a minute, Richard. This is what they do.
From my calls in the last week and a half, they're canceling early, which means within the month, and it's frustration because somebody's not communicating with them.
That's good feedback, Jeff. You know, I want to come back to that when we get to one of these articles here in a minute, because we'll get there. I'll leave it there. Somebody else.
So I'm just thinking, because we talked about a little bit about this last week with their expired count being so low. So I'm wondering, call me crazy, but I'm wondering if agents are purposely canceling so their clients are not getting bombarded with expired calls, and then they're extending the listings. Because I know some folks will do that.
Look, I think expired calls is a lead generation strategy of the industry, period.
Right.
And I think seasoned listing agents actually create strategy around when their listings come off the market against that lead generation strategy. And I think they're both strategic.
Yep.
Interesting. All right.
Yep.
So mortgage rates, 6.04. All right. So I was playing with this little graph this morning. And if we're at 6.04 today, there was a moment in time, September 23rd, 2024, when there was a quick hot minute when rates came down. And everybody got excited for a second, and then they went back up. But the bottom of where they came down was 6.2. And then you go back, there was a moment in time in January 16th, 2023, they came down to 6.12. And that was a moment in time, and then they went back up. And there was a moment here where is it? Right there. August 29th, 2022. That was the last time mortgage rates were where they're at today. This is the lowest it's been in 3.5 years. What do you think of that?
I hope there's a script around that there somewhere, Brett.
Well, I just discovered it this morning, so feel free to write it and share it with all of us. I mean, there's an article coming up in a minute talking about it, but I just, you can play with these things. And obviously, back in August, it was below. So, August 22 was the last time rates were as low as they are today. And that's that moment in time when rates were going up, and they went all the way up to 7.9. Any other thoughts?
This is why you're seeing more buyers out there.
Yeah.
A rate, everybody has said that if the rates hit 6%, this is when you're going to see the buyers coming back out, and the buyers are sensing that that's what they're getting now. And if you talk to your mortgage people, talk to the guys from Supreme, they're writing mortgages under 6% right now, depending on who the buyers are.
Yeah. I mean, this is the average, right? So half are probably getting below that.
Yeah.
I think
All
it's
right.
also important to note that most economists are saying that the rates are going to stay flat for this year. So
Yeah.
waiting till December, hoping the rates will drop another quarter point. Why wait?
Yeah. All right. This article was interesting to me. So there was a opinion article on Inman that said, "Is real estate actually a service business?" And the answer might be costing you listings. So the way he developed this article is he said, um, is real estate a product business or a service business? You will get the same answer every time. Everybody says it's a service business. However, agents are trained to say this because it feels noble, it feels safe. It separates us from the salesy stereotypes of the past. But there is a massive flaw in this mindset, and it's costing agents money. Here's the cold reality: we're scored on our service, but we're paid on our product. And if we aren't paid for being nice or answering the phone on Sundays, we are paid when an asset transfers ownership. If we can't market a home with the rigor of Apple, we are missing the boat. Um, and it goes on to say the great divide, attraction versus retention. To fix your marketing, you have to understand the fundamental split in consumer psychology. Product marketing attracts the bait. Product marketing is about the thing, it's tangible, it's objective. So the goal is to create desire, features, specifications, price, aesthetic appeal, the psychology. I want that object because it solves a problem or elevates my status. So I want you to think about it. You take a listing and you post something on social media. Is the message of that post about you or about the house? And if the message is about the house, it's about product. If the message is about you, it's about service. And service marketing is about the provider. It's the intangible, it's the subjective. The goal is to build trust, responsiveness, expertise, problem solving. I trust this person to guide me safely through the fire. So the reality is you're probably doing both. But I do see some agents only posting product, which means here's this listing, check out this house. This house has this great feature. And I see some agents only posting service, which says, do business with me. I want to take care of you. Best interest rate in 3.5 years. I want to help get you the best of, whatever. And then what he's saying is the mistake is marketing service when you should be selling product. And I'm going to skip to the bottom of this because this is the net. Is real estate a service business? Yes. Is real estate a product business? Yes. If you only focus on service, you're a wonderful friend with no inventory. If you only focus on product, you're a commodity with no loyalty. The magic's in the middle. Market the listing like it's the only thing that matters, and then serve the client like they're the only thing that matters. And I think there's a dance between the two of this. And it's really a thinking article, like, and it's specifically thinking to what's your message you're putting out there. Pre-social media, everybody put together property flyers, and that was a product message, like check out this product. And then if you would have mailed just listed, just sold cards, those were product messages, right? But when social media became a part of the equation, I do think we started more messaging around service. And it's just a question of what's the blend between the two that's right for you. Thoughts?
So Natalie Levine popped into my head as soon as you started talking about this. If you've ever watched her videos about her properties, she shows the properties, but she clearly infuses her personality into it. So I think anyone that's looking for a healthy balance, and she obviously is getting great results. So if you're looking for a healthy balance, I would look for Natalie Levine's posts on Insta and Facebook. They're fabulous. I think it's that balance.
Somebody else, your thoughts?
We focus on listings, our team and I do. So you really sell a property twice, first online and then the second part when you make contact, right? So in the beginning, when you're doing an MLS, make sure those descriptions are more creative than 3-bedroom, 2-house, 2,200 square, whatever that is. And make sure your pictures are right, please. These pictures in Florida times, don't be putting 60 of them out there. They're just not necessary. Then you're giving them an opportunity to shut and go to the next one. So make it creative enough so you're creating curiosity to make that phone call to you.
Thank you, Jeff. Anybody else? Thoughts?
Like you, Brett, I read this article and it was hard getting through it because I don't like how he presented it until he got to the bottom. And what the bottom line summary is absolutely correct. If you look at your top agents, they're listing agents, they have the greatest inventory, they have the product to sell, but they also have the greatest percentage of repeat and referral business. That's their SOI that only comes about because of the service that they provided during the sale. It has to be a combination of the two.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna move on. So what was your favorite Super Bowl ad? Somebody give me one. Don't tell me Homes.com.
Budweiser.
Budweiser? What about it, Joy?
The emotion, how it touched the heart.
So this article says 5 real estate takeaways from this year's Super Bowl ads. Innovation works best when it feels familiar. AI was a dominant theme of the Super Bowl ad lineup. 23% of all commercials were AI centered. I thought that was interesting. I guess the question is, do you talk about innovation in your messaging? Do you talk about how AI is helping you sell listings faster, or how AI is helping you consult buyers smarter? Design technology to support the human experience. If you're not aware, the consumer of today is very in tune with the experience just as much as they are the product. And what does that look like in real estate? What's the experience of living in this property? What's the lifestyle of this property? What's the experience of working with you? Marry familiarity with new features and amenities. Similar to how Dunkin' utilized the biggest face of the 90 to push their newest marketing campaign. Are you promoting listings with 90s like open floor plans, original hardwoods? Each of these amenities represent an easy opportunity for you to leverage a classic symbol of the comfort of home while blending it with more modern like features like home offices, spas, gyms. Just a thought. Find the balance between emotion and utility. Marketing efforts will fail if you lean too far in one direction. If you overly emotional, your message may not be clear or offer tangible value. If you lean too far on technological innovation as your selling point, your message may feel inauthentic or cold. And then understand the attention economy. This is all social media, right? Like we have to understand the attention economy. I thought it was interesting. Feel free to download it, read it. Quick comment here. Affordability is getting better. Affordability is the direct relationship between median income, median price house. It does not affect luxury. It does not, it's all about the relationship of that median price house. 37 out of the 50 popular metros in the US, as rates come down, income rises. When the rate comes down to 6, it's helping affordability, right? So in prices holding or staying consistently flat, not luxury, flat, median price homes, it's helping with affordability. That's what you need to know. This article on Housing Wire, housing demand snaps back as mortgage rates near 6%. You should be feeling the housing demand coming. But I thought this was interesting, and I tried to zoom in as best I could, and it's not the best graph. But can you see the peach line on here?
Yep.
Okay, that's 2026 pending home sales. So for the first time, most of January, the pending home sales was greater than the previous years. Now, we did have a dip at the beginning of February, and we're slightly behind the what I think was 2025 line. Let me see. No, 2024. So we're trending right now with 2024, but we're ahead of 23 and 25. So we started the year really strong with pending home sales. And it speaks to that question I've always tried to answer is, are we starting the year fast or slow? We certainly, from a pending data point, we're going faster this year than we have in the previous years. But there was a little bit of a stall in February. So we'll see. As the year plays out, you can never totally predict it. And as you see on the chart, it ain't a straight line. It certainly squiggles. But all signs say good numbers coming in 2026. Questions? Anybody? All right. Another need to know. Investor share of home purchases hold at 30% in 2025. What's more fascinating is this chart here. So we've seen a lot of news articles about like the government pulling back on mega investors being able to buy homes, things like that. Even large investors. You see the percentage of investor purchases over the last 7 years in terms of where they're at. And they haven't changed much except the middle investor, the medium investors, which are more than 5 properties, has gone up. But the largest percentage is still small investors to the tune of around 14%, if I'm reading that right. 14% of the investor sales were small investors. 10 to 11% were medium. Large investors were 3%, and mega investors were 3%. If you put those together, that's 6. So makes sense?
Mhm.
Do you have a strategy to have investors that you work with? Do you teach investing in real estate seminars? Have you educated yourself to be able to consult somebody about investing in real estate? What are the tax benefits? What are the long-term price appreciation benefits? All those things should be a part of your repertoire, right? Like it should be a part of your consulting, and you have to learn it. It's not natural, and you should always play the game with the fine print of consultant attorney, consultant the CPA, you know, all that stuff. But you still have to have knowledge about it. If 30% of the transactions are going to investors and you're not up to speed on being able to consult an investor, you're missing a third of the market. That make sense?
Brett, this is a fascinating picture right here. In fact, I got caught basically with my pants down 3 times this weekend. Potential listers, sellers said to me, I don't want it going to a big investor.
Yeah.
3 times, and I had no answer. Now I get to send this to him this morning.
Yeah, it's right off Housing Wire. And the data comes from Cotality, which is a sister company to Keller Williams, by the way. We have common ownership with Stone Point Capital, and they're currently exploring really cool data connections behind the scenes to get us in the field, really rich data to be able to empower you, Jeff, or anybody on the call in conversations like this. So really fascinating. All right, I'm going to round us out with this article. These zip codes are America's hottest housing markets. This is, I forget the time period. Home sales slow. Oh, gosh. I think it was fourth quarter 2020. Yeah, fourth quarter. America's hottest housing markets for Q4. So you scroll down here, 33181 Miami was a hot zip code. 33480 in Palm Beach was a hot zip code. I'm looking at ones that relate to us. There were a couple on here. Lake Worth's on there. 33127 in Miami's on there. West Palm Beach is on there. 33133 in Miami was on there. So if you want to just dive into this to get some social media content or just something to be aware of, there's a lot of zip codes in Miami, a lot of zip codes in Palm Beach. And Boynton Beach was on here at number 81 as one of the hottest zip codes. Fort Lauderdale was 86. Delray Beach was 94. We're all over the top 100 zip codes that were the hottest zip codes in Q4 2025. I would jump into that data and create social media content with it, or at least some kind of email drip marketing campaign, or people are interested in that kind of stuff. Make sense?
Mhm.
Amazing.
Thoughts?
We have a
Any
lot of
la-
information to put out there.
That's what we do. We research it so you don't have to and bring it to you. So I will leave you with this. Happy President's Day. It is February 16th, halfway through February. All the activity you're feeling right now is what's going to make March what it is. And March is going to be a great month. And I hope you're a part of it. So go ride the momentum, right?
Thanks, Brad.
You're welcome, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Brad.
guys. Have a great week.
You too. Bye.